Welcome to Book Summary Podcast, your gateway to personal transformation. Each episode delivers big ideas from the world's most impactful books on mindset, productivity, and success, all in just a few minutes. Ready to turn knowledge into action? Let's get started.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. We're the show where we really dig into timeless source material, the goal. To pull out that powerful, actionable knowledge you can actually use.
And today, our mission, well, it's pretty ambitious, isn't it? We're essentially time traveling.
4 millennia back to ancient Babylon.
Right, the cradle of civilization, sure, but maybe more importantly for us, the cradle where the basic principles of finance were really nurtured.
And we want to understand why these ancient ideas are still perhaps the fastest, most reliable path to real prosperity, even today in our, complex world.
Absolutely. And look, this isn't just some dusty history lesson. We're talking about the original rulebook for personal finance.
Yeah.
Babylon, it wasn't just famous for its armies, though they were impressive. It was revered as a hub of, wisdom, business savvy, enterprise, and justice.
The sources really paint a picture of this incredible city, meticulously organized, focused on generating wealth, a real testament to human effort over time.
Totally. And the physical city itself, the fortifications,
They make a huge point about that, don't they? How impregnable it was supposed to be. It withstood siege after siege. We're talking like massive armies.
10,000 horsemen, 25,000 chariots.
Just crashing against the walls and failing time after time. The physical prep was, flawless.
Which sets up this perfect historical irony, a real lesson for financial security, too.
How it eventually fell.
Exactly, around 540 BC. But it wasn't conquered by force. The walls held.
So what happened?
It was a failure of judgment. King Nabonidus, he was persuaded, bad advice apparently, to leave the safety of the city. He went out to meet Cyrus's army.
Big mistake.
Huge. He lost the battle, and then Cyrus just walked into Babylon through the open gates. No fight needed within the city itself.
Wow. So an error in strategy, not a weakness in the defenses.
Precisely. And
Yeah.
that's the financial metaphor right there, isn't it? Building the walls, saving that first 10%. Maybe that's the easier part sometimes. The real ongoing challenge, maintaining the good judgment needed to guard what you've built, to keep those gates effectively closed against bad decisions or bad advice.
Preventing that open gate moment for your finances.
That's it. And that's exactly why we're going deep today into the wisdom of Archad, the richest man in Babylon.
His 7 cures for a lean purse and the 5 laws of gold.
These are like 4,000-year-old financial algorithms. And the amazing thing is they seem almost immune to modern problems like recessions or market crashes. Why?
Because they deal with human behavior first.
Exactly. Human nature doesn't change that much, apparently.
Okay, let's jump in. All right, so let's unpack the scene the source material sets up for us. We meet these 2 guys, Bansier and Kobby.
The cherry maker and the musician.
Right, and they're good at what they do, masters of their craft, really. Bansier makes amazing chariots. Kobby's music is, deeply moving.
They're decent guys, hardworking citizens, living in literally the richest city in the known world at the time.
And yet, they're miserable, consumed by this feeling of, total failure.
Yeah, that contract is the whole point, isn't it? It's the tragedy. Bansier's so down he can't even finish the chariot he's working on.
And Kobby comes up to him, his best friend, asking for a tiny loan. Just 2 shekels, a really small amount.
Like pocket change, basically.
Yeah.
Until after some feast he's playing at.
And Bansier's answer is just crushing. He says he can't lend it because if he had 2 shekels, that would be his entire fortune.
Oof. After a whole lifetime of hard work, nothing. His purse is just empty.
And they look around, they see all the wealth parading past, merchants, caravans overflowing with goods.
From Phoenicia, Persia, treasures everywhere. And they realize they've got zip to show for all their effort.
It leads to this really raw moment, doesn't it? They're watching the slaves carrying water up to the hanging garden.
Yeah, water bearers, sweating, half naked. Bansier says something like, poor brutes, pitying them.
But then Kobby reflects on their own situation. All their hard work, 0 results. And he says something devastating.
He says he doesn't see much difference between them and the slaves. I mean, think about it. The slaves, at least they get food, clothes, a place to sleep, basic necessities guaranteed.
Whereas Bansier and Kobby, these supposedly free men, they work just as hard, maybe harder sometimes, year in, year out.
And have absolutely no security, nothing. It's like this realization that they're living a kind of slave existence, but the chains are financial ignorance, not actual iron.
That's powerful, and that sparks the big insight, right?
The light bulb moment. They realized they poured everything into mastering their crafts, chariots, music, years of study, their best efforts.
Yeah.
But they never spent a single day, maybe not even an hour, studying the craft of getting and keeping gold. Actual money.
They mixed up earning a wage with building wealth. Two totally different things.
Exactly. Earning is just the start. Wealth building is about managing that earning, making it grow.
So naturally, they decide they need to talk to the guy who has figured it out.
Arkad, the richest man in Babylon. So rich, even the king asks him for financial help.
They realize his wealth isn't just, fancy clothes or a big house. It's something else.
And Kobby nails it. He has this incredibly sharp observation. He says, Arkad's real wealth isn't the money in his purse at any given moment.
Right.
It's the golden stream, the constant flow of income that keeps filling the purse.
Automatically.
Yeah, whether Arkad's working or just relaxing or traveling somewhere far away, that income just keeps flowing.
That, they decide, is the real secret. An income that doesn't depend on you trading your time for money every single day.
So, mission decided. They've got to go see Arkad. Ask him point blank.
Yeah.
How do we build that golden stream?
Okay, so they go to Arkad, and their first instinct, like a lot of people maybe, is to blame luck.
Exactly. They start off with, well, Arkad, you were just lucky, or fate was kinder to you. They worked just as hard when they were young.
And Arkad, he just shuts that down immediately, no patience for it whatsoever.
None. He basically says, look, if you haven't built wealth, it's because you haven't bothered to learn the laws that govern wealth building, or you haven't applied them.
No magic involved. Just cause and effect, actionable laws.
Right. And what's really interesting is how skeptical he is about unearned wealth. Windfalls, lottery wins in modern terms.
Why is that?
He warns that gold you just stumble upon, that fickle fate stuff. It usually ruins people.
Ruins them? How?
Because if you haven't learned the rules of how to get and keep money, you'll either just blow through it instantly.
The wanton spender.
Or you'll hoard it, terrified of losing it. Because deep down, you don't know how to get it back if it's gone.
The fearful miser. So learning the process is key.
Absolutely. And Arkad wasn't driven by greed, according to the text. He saw wealth as necessary fuel for a full life.
He saw nice things, good furniture, travel, tasty food, supporting the temples.
And he basically decided, hey, I want my share of that. Wealth, he thought, increases the potency of happiness. It lets you participate more fully in life's banquet, as he put it.
So he just decided he was going to get it.
And he figured out there were only two real requirements for that journey.
Oh.
Time, which everyone has, right? Rich or poor. We all get the same amount of time, but most people just let it slip away.
Okay, time.
And study.
You.
The actual commitment to learning how wealth works, how to acquire it, how to make it grow.
And his own story starts humbly, doesn't it? He wasn't born rich.
Not at all. He started as a scribe, working long, hard hours, carving records onto clay tablets.
Making money, sure, but...
But just like his friends Bansier and Kobby, it all just disappeared.
Yeah.
Food, clothes, rent, offerings to the gods. Poof, nothing left over.
Until the opportunity with Algamish, the moneylender.
Right. Algamish needed this huge job done, carving the ninth law onto a tablet. Needed it overnight, a marathon session.
And Arkad pulled it off, but instead of just taking the payment.
He asked for the wisdom Algamish had promised him. He traded his labor not just for coin, but for knowledge.
And this is where we get the absolute foundation, the first cure for a lean purse.
Algamish looks at Arkad, probably sees his potential, maybe his frustration, and just lays it out. This life-changing realization. I found the road to wealth when I decided that a part of all I earned was mine to keep. And so will you.
And Arkad's confused at first, right? Like, doesn't everything I earn belong to me?
Yeah, the common misconception. And Algamish corrects him bluntly. Far from it.
You pay everyone else first.
The cloth merchant, the sandal maker, the landlord, everyone gets their cut before you even think about yourself.
So the law.
Keep not less than 1/10 of all you earn. That part is yours, no matter what. Protect it, don't spend it.
This is cure number 1. Pay thyself first.
And that first coin you save, that 10th, Algamish calls it the seed from which your tree of wealth will grow.
You have to plant it right away and keep watering it with more savings.
The sooner you start, the sooner you get the benefits, the shade from that tree.
And Arkad tried it immediately, right? What happened?
Fascinating result. He reported that he actually wasn't any shorter of funds than before. He managed just fine on the other 9/10. He just adjusted.
Didn't really miss it.
Didn't miss it. And even stranger, he felt like coins started coming to him more easily after he started saving.
Like a mindset shift. Respecting money more.
Maybe. Or maybe, as the book implies, gold is attracted to the purse that's already growing. It avoids the empty one. It's like a signal of competence, of seriousness about wealth.
Okay, so cure one is getting the gold in. Saving that 10th. But that's only half the battle, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. If you don't control your spending, that 10th will just leak right back out again. Maybe through a different hole, but it'll go.
Which brings us to the second cure. Control thy expenditures.
The discipline layer. The goal sounds simple. Live comfortably on the 9/10 you have left. And never touch the 10th you set aside to fatten the purse.
Simple, but not easy, especially today.
Right. This forces that crucial distinction between what you actually need and the multitude of desires that must go unsatisfied, as the book puts it.
That hits home. We're bombarded with desires constantly. Back then, it was luxuries in the marketplace. Now it's ads on our phones every 5 seconds.
And the trap Archad identified is timeless. Believing our expenses have to rise with our income.
Lifestyle creep.
Exactly. Yeah. He says flat out, what we call necessary expenses will always grow to equal our income unless we actively fight back.
So how do you fight back? Willpower alone.
He gives a really practical tool, budgeting, but a specific kind. He says, engrave upon the clay each thing for which thou desireth to spend. Basically, write down everything you want.
Okay, then what?
Then look at your 9/10 income. Select the absolute necessities first. Then select the desires that can fit within that 9/10 budget.
And the rest.
Cross them out ruthlessly. They don't fit, let them go.
That requires some serious prioritizing.
It does. And the deeper insight is you have to make saving that 10th, watching that purse fatten, your greatest desire.
So when you feel tempted by some impulse buy,
you look at your growing savings instead. You're consciously trading a fleeting desire for long-term security and growth. The budget becomes your shield.
Protecting the savings. Okay, makes sense. So save 10%, control spending to live on 90%. What's next?
Now we get to the engine. Moving from just accumulating gold to making it grow on its own. The third cure. Make thy gold multiply.
This is the passive income idea, right?
Exactly. Gold just sitting there in a pot or, under the mattress. It earns nothing. It might make a miser feel good, but it's not working.
True wealth, Archad argues, is that income stream we talked about. The money flowing into your purse constantly.
Whether you're working that day or not. That's the goal.
But this is where the risk comes in, right? Investing.
Huge risk if you don't know what you're doing. And Archad learned this the hard way. He tells the story of his first big investment mistake.
The brickmaker.
Asmur, the brickmaker. Archad gave him his entire first year's savings. Asmur was traveling to Tyre and promised to buy rare Phoenician jewels. Sounded exotic, potentially huge profits.
And the result?
Disaster. Asmur came back with worthless bits of colored glass. Total scam. Or maybe Asmur got scammed himself. Doesn't matter. Archad's savings. Gone. A whole year's worth.
Ouch. What did Algamish say about that?
He gave him the tough love lesson. Why trust a brickmaker's knowledge about jewels? Would you ask a baker about the stars?
Good point.
Seek advice, Algamish said, only from people who are actually competent in that specific thing. Jewelers for jewels, shepherds for sheep, not brickmakers for jewels.
The lesson isn't about intent, it's about competence. Asmur might have meant well, but he didn't know jewels.
Exactly. You take advice from someone unskilled in that area, whether it's ancient gems or modern stocks, you're basically just gambling your principal, your hard-earned savings.
So Archad learned. What does he do next?
He followed the advice. He found Agur, the shield maker, reputable guy, needed capital to buy bronze for his business. Archad loaned him his next batch of savings.
And this time?
Success. Agur repaid the principal, plus what the book calls a liberal rental.
Which is basically interest, right?
Right, exactly. Rent paid for the use of Archad's money. And here's the crucial part. The multiplying starts now.
Compounding.
Compounding. Archad didn't just spend the interest. He loaned it back out, along with the original principal, to Agur or others. So his earnings started earning more money, too.
Ah, the magic of compounding.
He uses this great metaphor. He created an army of golden slaves, each coin working for him, earning more coins.
And their children work, too.
And their children's children. It's that geometric progression. Slow at first, maybe, but incredibly powerful over time.
He gives an example, doesn't he? About a farmer.
Yeah, a farmer leaves 10 silver pieces with a moneylender for 50 years. The interest rate is described weirdly, like 1/4 its value every 4 years, but the point is the compounding.
What happens to the 10 pieces?
After 50 years of that steady, patient growth and reinvestment, it becomes 167 pieces. It multiplied almost 17 times.
Wow, without the farmer doing anything extra after the initial investment?
Just letting time and compounding do their work. It shows that the initial seed money is important, sure, but the time and the consistent reinvestment are what really builds serious wealth.
Yeah.
It's not about getting rich quick. It's about persistent, patient growth.
Okay, so we've got save, cure 1, budget, cure 2, invest, compound, cure 3. Now we need to protect it all.
Exactly, which leads directly to cure 4. Guard thy treasures from loss.
This sounds like a direct response to the Asmer the brickmaker fiasco.
It absolutely is. The text hammers this home. The first principle of any sound investment is securing your principal. Don't lose your starting money.
Don't get blinded by promises of huge, fast returns. If there's a big risk, you could lose everything.
Right. Avoid those romantic desires to make wealth rapidly. That's a great phrase, isn't it?
It is. So practically, how do you guard it?
Due diligence. Even just for a simple loan. Before you give your gold to someone, check them out. Can they repay? Do they have a reputation for repaying?
If you skip that homework...
You're basically just giving your money away, making a gift, not an investment.
And this applies way beyond simple loans, right? Modern day.
Oh, totally. This is about avoiding speculative bubbles, resisting those get-rich-quick schemes you see online, not putting money into complex investments you don't actually understand.
If you can't protect the principal, the compounding doesn't even get a chance to start.
Precisely. Game over before it begins.
Now, there's another cure in here that sometimes gets glossed over but seems important. Cure 5. Make thy dwelling a profitable investment.
Yeah, home ownership. Archad makes a strong case for it. He says, look, if you're already spending 9/10 of your income on living expenses, including rent.
Maybe owning your own home is a smarter move.
Often, yes. It provides stability, a sense of permanence, pride, but also it's financially smart.
How so?
You're taking one of your biggest expenses, rent, which just disappears, and turning it into payments towards an asset. Something that holds value, maybe even increases in value.
So the guy saving his 10% can eventually buy some land, build a house.
And then his living costs actually go down in the long run while his security goes up. It's ancient wisdom about building equity, really. Turning a cost into capital.
Makes sense. Okay, what about the long view, the future?
That's Cure 6, ensure future income. This is about planning ahead.
For old age, or if something happens to the main earner.
Both. The text calls it a sore tragedy to have a lean purse in old age, or for a family to be left unprotected if the head of household dies.
So you need to provide for that possibility in advance.
Right. And again, it emphasizes the power of small, consistent actions over time. Archad gives an example, saving just 2 silver pieces a week.
Seems tiny.
But do that consistently for, say, 12 years. And through wise investment, it could grow into 4,000 silver pieces. Enough to generate what the book calls a worthy competence.
Let's clarify competence. It doesn't mean 4,000 pieces to spend like crazy, right?
No. It means having a principal sum. That 4,000, that's large enough so the income it generates the interest, the rental, is enough to live on comfortably without touching the principal.
That's financial independence, basically, living off your investments.
Exactly. And get this, in this section, Archad actually speculates about something like life insurance.
Really? 4,000 years ago?
Yeah, he muses about a plan where lots of men pay small amounts regularly into a pool. And if one of them dies unexpectedly, even after only making a few payments, that pool could provide a snug fortune for his family right away.
That's uncannily like modern life insurance.
Right.
Amazing foresight. Shows the needs are universal.
Protection, security, providing for the future.
Yeah.
Always been there.
Okay, 1 cure left. What's the 7?
Cure 7. Increase thy ability to earn. This one's about actively boosting your income potential.
So, not just saving and investing, but actually getting better at what you do.
Precisely. Archad recognized that if you strive to become more skillful, more knowledgeable, more valuable in your work or craft,
you'll naturally earn more. The rewards will follow.
Cultivate your powers, he says. Study. Become more proficient. Act with integrity and reliability. Be proactive.
The better you are, the more efficient, the more skilled. The bigger the stream of gold flowing towards you to begin with.
It's a call for continuous self-improvement. Upskilling, we'd call it now. Never stop learning and growing in your field.
Okay, so those are the 7 cures. Save, budget, invest, guard, own your home, plan for the future, increase earnings. Seems comprehensive, but knowing isn't doing right.
Ah, the final piece. Execution. Arcad addresses this directly when his friends talk about his strong willpower.
He dismisses that, doesn't he?
Laughs it off. Says willpower isn't some mystical force, it's just purpose.
Define that.
The unflinching purpose to carry a task set for oneself to fulfillment, no matter how small or inconvenient that task is.
He gives that example of throwing a pebble off a bridge every day.
Right. Tiny action. Meaningless in itself. But if he sets himself that task, he does it. Every day. If he misses a day, he doesn't just shrug or throw 2 pebbles the next day.
He goes back and does the missed one. He completes the task he set.
That consistency, that unflinching follow-through, that's the willpower needed to build financial habits. Like saving that 10th every single time, no excuses.
And this links to his idea about opportunity.
Yeah. Opportunity, he says, is a haughty goddess. She doesn't waste time on people who aren't ready, who hesitate.
Procrastination kills opportunity.
Exactly. Hesitation is just procrastination in disguise, and good luck. It doesn't just happen by chance.
Who gets lucky?
Men of action please the goddess of good luck best. Act. Don't delay. Procrastination, he concludes, is the real enemy. It lives inside all of us, making us our own worst financial obstacle.
So Arcad didn't just teach through stories and cures. He boiled it all down, right, into 5 laws.
The absolute essence. He carved them onto a clay tablet for his son, Nomicier.
And gave him a bag of gold, too, like a test.
A huge test. Here's the gold, here are the rules. Go out for 10 years, prove you can handle it, prove you're worthy of inheriting the rest of my estate.
And this story is critical because it shows that just having the money or even having the instructions isn't enough.
Not even close. Nomicier comes back after 10 years. Humbled. Admits he totally messed up at first. Disastrous handling, he calls it.
The gold just vanished.
Slid swiftly from my inexperienced hands, is how he puts it. Because he didn't follow the laws.
What were his mistakes? Classic violations of the cures, basically.
Textbook. First, he got suckered into a scheme involving a fixed horse race, trying to make a killing overnight.
Violating the rule against forcing impossible earnings. Cure 4's warning.
Exactly. Lost a big chunk of his gold right there. Then, mistake number 2.
The bad partnership.
Yeah, he went into business with some guy who was apparently a terrible spender, totally foolish. They ended up with a pile of unsaleable goods and no money left to operate.
So he failed to guard his treasure, and he failed to partner with someone skilled and wise. More violations.
Totally. He hit rock bottom, humiliated, broke, despite starting with a significant advantage.
So what turned it around?
He finally realized the gold itself was useless, maybe even a curse, without the wisdom on that clay tablet his father gave him. He decided, okay, enough youthful arrogance, time to actually follow the rules, listen to the wisdom of age.
And that's when things changed. Let's actually go through those 5 laws. They really summarize everything.
They do. Okay, Law 1. Gold comes readily and increasing quantity to the man who saves not less than 1/10 of his earnings.
Pure first cure. Pay yourself first.
Law 2. Gold labors diligently and contentedly for the wise owner who finds for it profitable employment, multiplying even as the flocks multiply.
Cure 3. Compounding. Make your money work.
Law 3. Gold clings to the protection of the cautious owner who invests it under the advice of men wise in its handling.
Cure 4. And the lesson from the brickmaker. Get expert advice. Be cautious.
Law 4. Gold slips away from the man who invests in businesses or purposes with which he is not familiar or which are not approved by those skilled in its keep.
Nomicier's exact mistakes, right. The horse race, the bad partnership, investing where you lack knowledge or good counsel.
Textbook failure of Law 4. And finally, Law 5. Gold flees the man who would force it to impossible earnings, or who follows the alluring advice of tricksters and schemers, or who trusts it to his own inexperience in romantic desires and investment.
Again, the horse race. Resisting the get-rich-quick temptation. Sticking to sound principles.
So how did Nomicier recover? By finally applying Laws 3 and 4.
He found a sound investment.
He joined a group investing in supplying copper and tin needed for massive new gates for the city of Nineveh, a solid, necessary project.
Oh, crucially,
this venture was guided by wise, experienced men. They didn't take stupid risks. They ensured the principle was safe before anything else. They avoided speculation.
So he followed the rules, invested wisely.
And he returned to Arcad 10 years later. He had the original bag of gold intact, plus 2 extra bags he had earned through sensible management.
Wow, full recovery and then some.
But the most important thing was his declaration to his father. He said, basically, Dad, the wisdom you carved on that tablet, that was far, far more valuable than the goals you gave me.
Because, with the knowledge, he could always get the gold back, even if he lost it again. Without the knowledge, the gold was just temporary.
Exactly. Wisdom over windfalls. Knowledge over mere capital. That's the ultimate lesson from Nomicier.
Okay, so these principles don't just apply to getting rich. They also guide how you handle lending money, right?
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
all connected. The story of Rodan the spear maker really highlights this.
He got a windfall, 50 gold pieces from the king. A gift.
A huge amount for him. And immediately, he faces pressure. His sister wants him to lend the entire amount to her husband, Ahriman.
Who wants to become a merchant but has zero experience and maybe not the best judgment?
Sounds like it. Foolishly optimistic, the text implies. So Rodan, wisely, goes to Mathon, the experienced moneylender, for advice.
And Mathon has this system with tokens in a chest.
Yeah, kind of a visual aid. He uses different tokens to represent loans based on their safety level. He explains the core principle. Safe loans need security.
Meaning what?
Either tangible property collateral that guarantees repayment if things go wrong, or proven earning power. A borrower with a solid track record, skills, reputation. Reliable human effort, as he calls it.
What about loans based on just hope or family obligation?
Highly risky. Mathon warns against lending based on just sentiment or someone's overly optimistic dreams. That's how you lose your principal.
Like Rodan potentially lending his whole fortune to his unqualified brother-in-law.
Exactly. It's like that modern dilemma.
Yeah.
Do you co-sign a loan for a relative who's clearly a bad risk? Do you pour your life savings into a family member's unproven business idea?
Yeah.
Mathon says be very, very careful.
He tells that parable too, right? The farmer and the ass.
Yeah, it's a great little story. The ass feels sorry for the ox, who works hard plowing all day. So the ass advises the ox, hey, pretend to be sick tomorrow, get a day off.
Okay.
The ox does it. The farmer sees the ox is sick. So what does he do? He hitches the ass to the plow instead. The ass ends up doing the ox's work plus its own. Double burden.
Huh. So the moral is,
Trying to help someone unwisely, trying to ease their burden out of pure sentiment without thinking it through, can just end up shifting that burden onto your shoulders. Help wisely, or you might end up carrying the load.
and Rodan admits his 50 gold pieces weren't just a gift. They represented 50 years of saving. 1 gold piece per year. His life's discipline.
Which makes Mathon's advice even sterner. Don't throw away 50 years of careful saving on Ahriman's risky experiment. Keep the gold safe. Only lend if Ahriman comes up with a solid, sensible plan that Mathon himself, the expert, would approve.
Caution. Respect for principle. Don't let emotion override financial sense.
That's the theme. Guard your treasure.
Now for maybe the most dramatic story, Dubbasier, the camel trader. His journey from the absolute depths.
Oh, this one is powerful. He starts as a saddle maker, but he gets completely consumed by debt.
Why? Bad luck.
No, self-inflicted, needless self-indulgence, he calls it. Living way beyond his means, buying luxuries he couldn't afford on credit, just chasing desires.
He sowed the winds of needless self-indulgence, the text says.
And reaped the whirlwind, crippling debt. So bad he couldn't face it, he fled Babylon.
Became a fugitive from his debts. And ended up...
Captured, sold into slavery in Syria. I mean, that's the ultimate financial rock bottom. Loss of everything, money, freedom, dignity.
Wow. How did he ever come back from that?
A pivotal moment came with Sarah, one of his owner's wives. She saw something in him, maybe, but she challenged him fiercely.
What did she say?
She asked him if he had the soul of a slave within him, pointed out that he ran away from his enemies, his debts, instead of standing and fighting them like a free man should.
Debt as an enemy.
A tyrant, she called it. Something that destroys your pride and slaves your spirit, even if you're not literally in chains.
That must have hit him hard.
It did. That humiliation, that challenge, it ignited that unflinching purpose Archad talked about. He resolved to escape, return and face his enemies, repay every single debt.
So he escapes, gets back to Babylon. What's the plan? He has nothing.
He goes to every single person he owes money to. He doesn't hide. He lays out a clear, structured repayment plan and asks for their agreement. And they give it to him because it's organized and honorable.
And this is the famous 7-20-10 system.
That's it. A brilliant framework for getting out of debt while also building wealth simultaneously. Here's how it worked.
Okay, break it down.
7 and 10ths, so 70% of everything he earned went to basic living expenses for him and his wife. They committed to living strictly within this amount. And they found, surprisingly, they could live better on this budget, getting better quality by planning, avoiding impulse buys.
Wow. So 70% for living? What about the rest?
210ths, 20%, went directly to paying back his creditors,
Yeah.
systematically, proportionally. Every creditor got their share based on what they were owed. This built trust and showed consistent progress.
Okay, 70 plus 20 is 90. What about the last 10%?
110th, 10%, he paid to himself first. Just like Archad taught, this was his saving and investment money. The jingle in his purse, he called it. The seed for his future wealth.
Even while deep in debt, he was still saving and investing 10%.
Crucially, yes. That was key to rebuilding not just his finances, but his spirit. It proved he wasn't just digging out of a hole, he was also building a ladder upwards at the same time.
How did that feel for him?
Transformative. He describes finding this deep satisfaction, this joy in watching his own savings grow, even as he was diligently paying down the debts. It gave him security, hope, a sense of control. He realized his life was actually better living on the 70-2-8-20 plan than it was when he was just spending everything carelessly.
Amazing. And the outcome?
He stuck to it, paid off every single debt, regained his honor completely, became a respected, successful camel trader, a free man in every sense of the word.
And his final point is really for everyone, isn't it?
Absolutely. He basically says, look, if this simple plan can take an ex-slave, someone with nothing, burdened by debt, and allow him to pay it all off and build wealth, surely it can help any free person find financial independence. #tag outro.
Wow. Okay, that was quite the deep dive. We've gone through the 7 cures, the 5 laws, these incredible stories. Bansier, Archad, Nomicier, Dubbasier.
It really is a complete playbook, isn't it? And the simplicity is what's so striking.
It really is. Let's recap the core actions. Pay yourself first. Minimum 10%.
Control your spending. Live on the rest, that 90% or less. Budget. Guard against that lifestyle creep.
Make your gold multiply. Put your savings to work through wise investments. Understand compounding.
Guard your principle. Rule number 1 of investing. Avoid speculation, get competent advice, don't lose your seed money.
Own your own home if possible. Turn that expense into an asset.
Ensure a future income. Plan for retirement. Protect your family.
Increase your ability to earn. Keep learning. Keep growing your skills.
And maybe underpinning it all, crush procrastination. Execute with that unflinching purpose Archad talked about.
The sources just hammer it home again and again. Success isn't really about luck. It's not even primarily about inheritance. Look at Nomicier. He got the gold and blew it.
Well, Archad started with nothing but the desire to learn and the discipline to apply the rules.
Wealth that lasts, the kind that brings real satisfaction.
It comes gradually, the book says. Because it's a child born of knowledge and persistent purpose, it's built, not found. If you can just master that habit of saving the 10% and controlling the rest consistently, you've arguably won the hardest part of the battle already.
So, okay, here's the final thought for you listening right now. Thinking about Dubbasier's incredible turnaround. We often look at wealth like it's some kind of magic trick, something only other people can achieve.
But the Babylonians show us it's not magic. It's a process, measurable, repeatable, based entirely on your own actions and behaviors.
So if a man like Dubbasier, starting from literal slavery, crushed by debt, stripped of everything, if he could use that simple 70-20-10 framework to pay it all back, regain his honor, and build a substantial estate.
What truly insurmountable obstacle is stopping you? You, a free citizen, likely with far more resources and opportunities than he had when he started his climb back.
Huh.
What's really stopping you from applying these same simple foundational laws?
The sources suggest the biggest barrier isn't usually external circumstances. It's internal. It's that spirit of procrastination. It's the choice, maybe starting today, to finally set your purpose, unflinchingly.